Hey, it's studio time. The Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. Send your band submissions to Nate at radio949colorado.com.
All right, welcome back to Studio 94.9. It's the Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. Nate Wild with you, and I got our guest of the week joining me, Devin Doucet. Welcome, man.
Thanks for having me, Nate. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So if you would, let's start off, just introduce the listeners and myself to Devin Doucet.
All right, so Devin Doucet is my real name. I was formerly, the name of my one-man band, Get Up, was called Devin Doucet and the Derailers.
Right.
Since I've changed that name because there's a band from the mid-'90s called The Derailers.
The Derailers, okay.
From Texas, and they sent me an email saying, you can't use that name. But the thing is, I used it because I truly believe that they were, dead and gone.
Yeah.
They seemed so, but I guess they had a revival, and they have a large following. So it would be confusing to their listeners to see this new frontman, which is Devin Doucet.
Totally.
So I willingly changed it, and it took me a little bit of time, but I decided just to go with my real name, abbreviated. So my full name is Devin William Doucet. So D.W. Doucet is the new moniker under my one-man band.
Sweet. Tell me kind of your style. I've seen you play, but explain to the listeners kind of, what they can expect when they go and see D.W. Doucet.
Well, I have a mixture of things, ranging from a lot of influences that I've had over the years. I would say the way I describe my music is howling country blues.
Okay.
Because I do a lot of howling during my set,
Right.
A lot of falsetto, and but I also do a lot of folk music and just basic country, and but my heart is with the blues.
Yeah.
Always has been. But I definitely mix it up. It's all over the place. I started out playing punk rock when I was 14. I was in punk rock bands until I was like 24. And I really didn't start writing my own music until I turned 24. I moved to Boston just on a whim because I wanted to start, writing my own music. And that's where I got my start. I would, just work and come home and just play. For a whole year, I just, did nothing but that. And I eventually found my voice, and I eventually, started writing songs.
Huh. All right, cool. Well, we're going to get into a little bit more of exactly who Devin Doucet is, because it's a trip, man. But before we do that, let's go ahead and play a song. Give the people a little taste. It's called "The End of the Day." Can you tell me a little bit about this song?
So this song started out on the banjo, and it's very rowdy and fast with the with the drum kit and the chains and the anvil.
Yeah.
But one day I just decided to play it on my acoustic guitar instead, and I really like the way it sounds. It's very folky. Essentially, it's I haven't written a lot of songs about girls in my time.
Okay.
But this one is about a past relationship, and essentially about loving someone and making decisions throughout the day with your heart. So yeah, here we go.
All right, cool. Once again, it's Devin Doucet joining me today. I should say D.W. Doucet is the moniker. No derailers attached. It's Studio 94.9. This is called "The End of the Day."
Found my home burning down. There's no light by the well, and the wind says your name. every time I'm away, but I felt my heart alive. In so many ways I've been wrong, but I love you, always by the end of the day. There's an old road by the main where we dance with the moon. Our trembling hearts felt a breeze, and my soul danced alone, but I felt my heart alive. In so many ways I'll be wrong, and I always love you by the end of the day. Far and away, I put my heart in a song, and I always love you by the end of the day. But I felt my heart alive. In so many ways I'll be wrong, but I always love you by the end of the day.
Yeah, all right. Devin Doucet, DW Doucet. I'm gonna break myself of this habit. sorry.
It's a tough one.
With the end of the day, it's Studio 94.9, the Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. So if anyone listening has seen this guy play, it's a trip. He's got like a one-man band kind of thing going on, but it's different. Okay? Can you explain to the listeners that are not familiar your one-man band kind of style with the anvil, as you mentioned, and the chains and the whole thing you got going?
Yeah, absolutely. So it came along over time. I was trying to start these bands up in Boston, just with people, and everyone was so unreliable, and Boston's a very saturated market for musicians, and it's
Right.
actually a really tough place to break into. And so all these, attempts at trying to make a band just, would always fall through. And I wandered up to this loft show where I was seeing this guy that I know, his name is Tim Guerin, and I really wanted to see him play. But there was a gentleman who, by the name of Matt Lorenz of the Suitcase Junket, was also opening up for this guy, and the entirety of his band is made up of trash, and it's a one-man band, so I was absolutely floored, and I just went bonkers, and it just lit a fire under me to think that, okay, I can do this all by myself. I can be my own artist and not have to rely on anyone showing up to practice, and just being me. So the whole get-up kind of came around over time. I started out with just a tambourine and a kick drum.
Yeah.
But I eventually moved to Colorado, here to Fort Collins, to go to the music therapy program at CSU.
Okay. All right.
Having gone, sort of changed my mind upon that, and
Yeah.
based on the amount that school costs, I just got a little turned off by it. But when I arrived here, I realized what a great music scene it is in Fort Collins specifically, and how they kind of accept you with open arms and they want you to play, and like you don't have to know people to get into the scene. And I found this suitcase on Craigslist from some guy living up in the mountains, and it's got to be from the 1950s, and it's black with a red racing stripe down the middle. And I thought it was just amazing, and I had to fiddle around with it a whole bunch to get the right sound, but I eventually found it. And the chains I found on the side of the road. I actually thought about that from listening to Willie Nelson's Time of the Preacher.
Okay.
'Cause during the chorus, there's chains playing for percussion during the chorus, so it just lit a fire. And the anvil came to me from listening to a Tom Waits tune. And
I wondered if Tom Waits had influenced any of this. I wasn't going to say it, but go ahead.
Tom Waits is my favorite artist of all time.
Oh, really? Nice.
I'm majorly influenced by his songwriting, and there's a song by him. It's off Rain Dogs, and I'm skipping on the name here of the name of that tune, but there's clearly an anvil being played during that, and I went on a trek to try and find an anvil, and I was looking online, and I found one that was made out of a railroad track.
Okay.
And Devin Doucet and the Derailers, under my moniker at the time, was like, this is perfect. This is exactly, I'm literally derailing as I'm playing my set by hitting this railroad track.
Yeah.
And I'm hitting it with an old vintage blacksmith hammer, so it has that really weighted ping to it. So it just all came together over time, and here I am, and just wailing, and just trying to be as rowdy as I can.
Yeah, you do a good job of that. Did you make it? You made it out of like a kick drum, right? Is that how you made the anvil thing? Like the kick pedal?
Right, exactly. So it's connected to a kick pedal, that's supposed to be for a bass drum, and
right.
I had to, tape it up and, keep it steady. But, all those things took a while to kind of, make sense of each other, and there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah, all right.
So it's a pleasure to play songs as a one-man band because I can kind of hold my own. I can be loud and rowdy, as if I was just, playing my acoustic guitar as a solo artist.
Right.
So it took me about 3 or 4 months to get the rhythms down, but now they're just a part of me. I can mess around with it all day and just, it's all one. It's all connected with me.
Nice.
Throughout, playing. So, I really enjoy it.
That's
love
awesome.
playing.
I enjoy watching it. Totally. All right, let's play another tune. It's Dead End Road. Tell me about this tune.
Oh, this one's brand new.
Oh, cool.
I wrote the music.
Is this like some world premiere action we got going on here?
Yeah, definitely. I played it at Swing Station the other night. I opened up for a blues guy named Husky Burnett.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And
I've seen him there, in fact.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, he's a dirty, swampy blues guy.
Totally.
And I was connected with him through Jimmy Richter, who I've gotten to know quite well over the last few months. And he does the Choice City Stomp here in town.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And he hooked me up with Husky, so I played a show with him. I opened up for him. And I wrote this song with the intention of playing it at that show because I wanted to play some more blues for that show. And I wrote this one in probably like 10 minutes.
Nice.
It just came, very natural to me. It's based off a lot of hill country blues.
Okay.
So, guys like Mississippi Fred McDowell and R.L. Burnside are major influences of mine.
Totally.
And, so this one's, kind of an homage to those guys. And the song is all about just, living a life of work as a working man while trying to pursue your dreams at the same time. And, just coming home at the end of the day, just extremely tired and not knowing how I'm going to pursue this career as an artist, but you kind of fight through it and you make it happen.
All right. Very cool. Well, I'm excited to hear it. It's Dead End Road, D.W. Doucet on Studio 94.9.
can pray my whole life through. I can say till day I die. When you hear me moan, I'm dying from that hard-earned day. When way down I build my home, and way down, oh, and way down I build my home. Won't you meet me on, won't you meet me on that dead end road? When you see me on, won't you see me on that dead end road? I've seen my angels die, and I've seen my angels die. Oh, won't you meet me down, won't you meet me on that dead end road? Won't you see me on, won't you see me on that dead end road? Won't you meet me down, won't you meet me on that dead end road? And you see me on that dead end road.
Yes, Devin D.W. Doucet, sorry, did it again with Dead End Road. Studio 94.9, the Locals Lounge at Radio 94.9. So you mentioned some of your influences already. Tom Waits, which I can totally see. Totally. The old blues guys that you started off, punk rock, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Can you kind of give me a little evolution of you as a musician, you know, beginning with your punkin' roots and then and then getting to where you are now, you know? Who's kind of shaped that for you?
Yeah, so, you know, my punk rock days were, I listened to essentially a lot of the Fat Records guys. Like
Oh, yeah.
No Effects, Lagwagon, Strung Out, which was my favorite band from probably ages 12 to 24. I have their tattoo on my left arm.
Do you?
Yeah. And they're extremely technical, so I started learning how to play solos, you know, their solos. And I went to music school when I was 19. I started, you know, playing jazz and the blues, and
Okay.
so that's when, you know, that came around. But I was still playing in punk, you know, like in punk bands during that time that I was learning all these crazy music theory, you know, improvising techniques, you know, in like jazz bands.
Yeah.
I've since kind of forgot it all. I can't really do it anymore.
Can't do
you
which?
know. I can't really solo much anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, you kind of go with what you love and what you feel in your heart, and you know, just me just playing, you know, what I want to play is, you know, the way I go. You know?
Right.
And you know, you have to be thrilled by, you know, what you're playing, and you're not doing something just for the sake of doing something. You know.
Right.
So yeah, from there I just, you know, I started learning new instruments. I picked up the banjo and started learning new styles and a lot of finger picking techniques, and got into some gypsy jazz too, which is one of my favorite styles of music of all time. So yeah, essentially I've just tried going down as many roads as I possibly could, playing what I want to play, which is why the one-man band getup is so perfect for me, because I don't have to be influenced by anyone else in the band. I don't have to have any pressure. I'm just writing my own songs, doing my own thing, and I enjoy the hell out of it.
Nice. It's interesting. It kind of, I don't know, you hear these stories about people that are trained. Their parents bought them lessons, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then they go and become Black Sabbath or something after that because they're influenced by this or whatever, and you kind of went the opposite route, from the punk rock to the blues because of school.
Oh yeah.
It's cool. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I can't solo that well anymore either. I use it or lose it,
Yeah, well, in music school, you're, kind of pressured to do all those things. You're pressured to, learn sight reading and music theory, and it was extremely useful. But, I wasn't writing music at that time. I was strictly focused on, just playing for these classes. And my heart just was not in it, at all. And it was great. It was, a great experience. But, here I am, just playing the blues and playing folk. I can't, I can die tomorrow feeling just absolute pleasure, just being able to play this kind of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, cool, man. Let's play another one of those tunes. Speaking of which, Wandering Heart. Did I play this song on the radio a couple weeks ago?
I don't think so. You played another one of my tunes called Whiskey Kisses on the railroad track.
That's the one. Okay, well, tell me about Wandering Heart.
So Wandering Heart is really heavy finger-picking style, guitar. It's pretty difficult to play, and I'm probably going to mess it up a couple times, but that's okay. So I was raised in LA, in Los Angeles, but I spent a lot of my summers in Canada. Mm-hmm. And up in Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, where Doucet originates from. It's a French Acadian name.
Okay.
And the Cajuns stem from the Doucets. So when the Great Expulsion happened in 1755, a lot of Acadians came down and they became the Cajuns. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's all my roots, and I have hundreds of cousins, down there in Louisiana that I need to go see and play for. But this song, Wandering Heart, is essentially about me just traveling on from that route where I feel most like myself, which is up in Cape Breton Island, in Halifax, and in Shetty Camp, which is a very small town up in Cape Breton Island where my father was born. And I have a lot of memories from 5 years old, just, laying by the creek and, just feeling truly like myself. And that feeling never left me. Like, as soon as when I was 5 years old and I, was doing that, I was, just laying by the creek, I was like, this is right where I belong. This is, where my, spirit feels most happy.
Yeah.
And so the song is all about that. But being in Fort Collins, being raised in Los Angeles, I've always kind of tried to go back to that feeling that I had in Cape Breton Island. So my heart's been wandering, away from there for so long. So that's where the song stems from.
That's awesome. Sweet. I can't wait to hear it. D.W. Doucet joining me here today. It's Studio 94.9. It's called Wandering Heart.
By the road, long driveway felt light. So stay with me a while. A warm breeze ran by the creek bed. I held on. I was right where I belong. I built a fire right on those old stones. I'm bound by the waves of my wandering heart. That I'm old and built by the road, threw away all those old stones, and down near the water it all becomes quiet and slow. My feet become cold. Built a fire right on those old stones. I'm bound by the ways of my wandering heart.
All right, that was Wandering Heart, D.W. Doucet, Devin Doucet, a.k.a. Pseudonym action there. All right, it's Studio 94.9. Now, before we wrap up the show, tell me what's next for D.W. Doucet, if you would.
Yeah, sure. So I got some pretty cool things up in the mix. I recorded an album at Bridgeway Studios with Colin Ingram and Jonathan Alonso. Jonathan Alonso played in Yumi and Apollo with Brent Cowles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he produced the record. He sat in, he played bass, guitar, and lap steel for me on a few songs.
All right.
And he was actually the first friend, I had here in Fort Collins, and, he's just the finest man in Fort Collins is Jonathan Alonso.
All right.
I don't know if a lot of people know that, but so I recorded about 7 songs with Colin. The album title is As I Roam Across the Dark Blue Night, which is also about Cape Breton Island.
Okay.
Walking the Cabot Trail completely alone, throughout, this forest. So that should be coming out probably in the next couple of months.
Oh, sweet.
I've got a music video coming out in the next month that I'm recording with Everglow Media. And in terms of shows, my CD release party should be at Swing Station in September.
Perfect.
So I'm looking really forward to that. A gentleman named Sam Gillis is opening, and The Ugly Architect, my sister band, my brothers, are also going to be playing too. So
awesome.
That's essentially my next show coming up. I think I have one on August 26th at the Swing Station as well with Wolf van Elfman.
Yeah.
And the Libby Creek Original.
I could see you fitting in very well at Swing Station.
That is my home base.
That's the perfect place for your type of music.
Yeah, actually, I was pretty scared of playing out when I first arrived here in Fort Collins, and I was just playing in my room, and I was a little scared about bringing the one-man band get up into certain places, but I started playing the open mic down at Swing Station, and I brought my whole kit, and it was received extremely well. So I played there every week for a few months, and
oh, wow, I didn't know that.
That's where I got my ground. That's where I became comfortable. So it's absolutely my home base.
Yeah,
and I love that. I love that place. I love the swing station.
Huh, cool. Fitting. I love that place too.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Well, cool, man. I just can't thank you enough for coming in, man, sharing your music and sharing your stories with us.
Yeah, thank you, Nate. I appreciate it.